Well, what Buckminster Fuller said, he said the future was that the big office buildings would be homeless shelters. So what Fuller predicted then was these office buildings would become homeless shelters, and they put some college student at the front gate with a little computer to monitor their needs. But let me just say this, there's more opportunity today than ever before, but you cannot say, well, it used to be that way. So Kim and I are investing in healthcare because as the baby boomers age and retire, that healthcare costs have got to come down. So let me go macro one more time. Kim and I are investing more than ever. We're investing in healthcare. We're investing in food, shelter, transportation, communication, energy, and security. But to sit there and think, oh, well, real estate always goes up in price, that's how stupid most of these people who used to be rich will no longer be rich. So that's why Rich Dad's World was created. And you can trust me, I will tell you the way I see it. I don't have anything to hide. I'm not selling anything. I don't have a 401k for you. I don't have an IRA. I don't like the stock market, but I do invest. There's a very big difference, but that takes education.
All coins have three sides, heads, tails, and the edge. And as a free individual, we stand on the edge looking at both sides. Do I think they can pay off that debt? Personally, no. So the question is not what the government's going to do about that. What am I going to do about that? Because I'm not going to change the government. You know what I mean? They're so corrupt, as you know. I own gold mines and silver mines. I invest in cattle, water, oil. Everything the Fed cannot print, I'll invest in. But that's my philosophy. I don't recommend what I do because I'm $1 billion in debt. But debt is money. That's why I pay zero taxes also, legally. And I can do that because I understand macroeconomics and finance. So we have a lot of stupid people in the market. That's bad news for stupid people, but good news for smart people. Because, in 2008, Kim and I made more money in 2008 as the market crashed. It crashed and it gave the best real estate in the world went on sale. The big reason why real estate is more crucial than stupid 401k investors is because real estate is illiquid. You buy it, you own it. If it's bad, you're going to go down with it. And if it's good, you look like the second coming of Jesus or something. You look like the genius. So right now, Kim and I look like geniuses because in 2008, we had great advisors around us. We had great smart people. And we made frickin' fortunes on debt. So why don't I invest in the stock market? Because I don't have to. Let me say it again. The Fed cannot print oil. I own oil wells. I don't own stock. They can't print cattle. So I own cattle. I breed cattle. I do. They can't print real estate. So I borrow the printed money to buy real estate and my tenants pay it off. And because I use borrowed money, which is tax-free, and my tenants pay off my asset, I'm allowed to depreciate it, amortize it, and appreciation. All of it's tax-free. America is a tax-free nation, but you have to be a capitalist. And that's why there's no financial education in our schools, because academics are primarily socialist Marxists.
And if you're sitting there right now, well, my house is the best asset I own, then you're an idiot. If you say, well, I have a high-paying job, I'm going to save money and put it in a 401k, you're an idiot.
All of these people that aren't using the tax code properly, they're the ones who aren't obeying the government. You're doing what the government wants you to do, provide housing to people, explore for energy, et cetera, right? That's what the government is asking people to do, and we're doing it.
I don't tell people what to do because I can do what I do, but I study hard to do it. That's like a doctor studies hard to be a doctor. It doesn't mean you should be a doctor yourself. But there's 5 things called the 5 Gs. Number 1 is gold, grub for food. That's why I invest in cattle. Ground, real estate, gasoline. I used to work for Standard Oil, but I don't invest in oil stocks. I invest in the oil in the ground. And then guns. In my opinion, Resources are the next biggest investment. And if you really want to learn a lot in a very little time, but really hang out with some better than average guys like me who sit there and have been gone through the ringer. You know, I still remember being one of those junior miners pitching my mine. And I was right. I was absolutely correct. We had the biggest mine in history in China, except I didn't understand country risk. You know, and China, like I said, China's buying oil from Saudi Arabia in yuan is a big move to me. It's huge. It means China saying, F you, US dollar. That's what it means to me. And mommy and daddy are still out there trying to save a few dollars, you know, work hard to get a pay raise for $15 an hour. They're completely out of touch with what's going on in the world. And it's really interesting because being an entrepreneur, one of the first things my rich dad taught me is if you're going to be an entrepreneur, the purpose of a business is to buy real estate. And the average person has never heard that. And I use debt and I pay no taxes. So you better learn about taxes because they'll never teach you that at school. I was out there in Vancouver in the 80s and 90s, and it was just the best education I ever had. What makes me such a pessimist on Biden and the Treasury and the Fed is what I learned in Vancouver. A really exciting time because gold, oil, and silver are real money. Not the dollar, not the loonie, not the Canadian dollar, not the peso, not the yuan, not the US dollar. Its resources are real money. We're being set up right now, one of the biggest changes in world history. The way the dollar is set up, the dollar always loses money. It's called Triffin's dilemma. If you're the reserve currency of the world, the dollar always loses value because debt always goes up. So the Fed has to keep printing, the Treasury has to keep printing. And that's why if you read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which came out 25 years ago, it said the rich don't work for money, rich don't save money, because the dollar is fake. The US dollar is fake. All currencies are fake. So people talk about, well, this, the euro's getting stronger. To me, it's all bullshit. I want resources. I want gold, silver, oil. That's what, and today, Bitcoin.
In every investment, there's the macro and the micro. You can't have macro without micro. We can't have micro without macro. The other reason you need more education, not less, is because real estate is illiquid. And it's not like a stock or a bond or a mutual fund or a 401k. And this is deja vu all over again. This is 2000 and 2008 all over again. And not to confuse people, but there's a thing called the repo market and reverse repo market. And those things are coming apart at the seams. Now, most people would say, oh, good, I'm going to stay out of real estate, when it's really the best time to get into real estate, but you better be educated.